So, with your kind permission, should we start the session? And the remaining participants will join in between the sessions, sir.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
So, first, let me introduce you to our audience. So, Dr. Mahipal Jadeja is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence and Data Mining at the Malvinagar National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. He received his PhD from the Dubai Ambani Institute of Information and Communication Technology in the field of computer science. His research interest includes theoretical computer science, social network analysis, machine learning on graphs, that is graph neural networks, and the use of generative AI in education. Uh, Dr. Jadeja has published several articles in the reputed peer-reviewed journals and conferences. He has supervised several PhD and MTech students and currently mentor ongoing research scholars. So thank you so much, sir, for the today's sessions. Now it's over to you, sir.
Thank you for introducing me. So let me try to share my screen first. Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay, so I would like to thank the organizer, Dr. Ravi Mandela, and also Professor Vineet Saula for organizing things and also inviting me. So the core idea with respect to today's session is two important domains, I should say. The one is prompt engineering, and the second one is custom GPT, or how we can design our personal assistant, which but not with respect to some everyday use case, but in the context of research, how these two important ingredients of I should say AI, or important I should say kind of tools with respect to generative AI can help us with respect to improvement of our research workflow. So that's the overall objective. So maybe you have learned about prompt engineering earlier also, but today, I will try to introduce one nice, intuitive, I should say, framework, which can help you not just with respect to research, but it can enhance your any kind of interactions with LLM. So that's the motivation. And then I will specifically showcase you use case with respect to research, how knowing and applying prompt engineering can enhance the outcomes with respect to whatever task which we will pick in the context of a research workflow. And then we'll talk about, of course, how we can design our own custom GPT. And I expect that by the end of today's 2 hour session, everyone will be able to create at least one custom GPT for sure. So what is custom GPT and why do we need this? Right, all these things we will discuss, of course, in the session in detail. But I'm just trying to set the tone for the session. And apart from that, if time permits, I will also introduce one a kind of, I should say, AI assist, how we can go for reading research papers in AI era, what are the state of the art tools and how we can utilize them to fullest. And otherwise, I will try to kind of capture them in the last step. Okay, fine. So, like I already mentioned, a good idea is something that does not solve just one single problem, but rather can solve multiple problems at once. So is true with us in the context of prompt engineering, the custom GPT, that even though we will see some specific use cases and applications in the context of research, but whatever outcomes of this particular session will come, it will be generic and can be applicable to all the domains, not just with respect to research. Whatever tasks you can think of where you are going to utilize the power of LLM, you can utilize the ideas which we are going to discuss today. So let me start with this particular quote of Albert Einstein. It's extremely relevant in the context of research and theme of this particular FDP. And soon I will also explain how this idea is relevant in the context of prompt engineering. So the quote goes like this: if I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on it, and Einstein is saying this, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I know the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes. So what he is trying to convey is you should not rush towards the solution. Before you kind of think about solution, you should think in your mind that whether you are solving the correct problem or not. Because once the clarity of problem is there, you will be able to solve the problem very easily, and it may also kind of enhance your knowledge, and you will be able to come up with some different observations which can help with respect to solution of some other problems also, not just the one which we are trying to solve. So it's a very deep thought. And now, in the era of Chat GPT, how this is relevant, let me try to explain. So let's say we are on this particular screen of Chat GPT or Gemini, and cursor is blinking. How many of us actually think that what problem or what question we should ask in order to get the solution? Right? We are always in the rush, right? We just write like we write in Google, right? We just put our query and then we get some response, and then we complain that AI is not up to the mark. It's not intelligent. It's not AI. It's we don't know the actual mechanism that how one should talk properly with this particular LLMs. And today we'll explore the same thing. So the if I try to kind of map the idea which Einstein has shared in the context of prompt engineering, then it just tells us power of imagination. Before even you start kind of writing something over here in your mind, it must be crystal clear that what you are going to accomplish after completion of this conversation. And why I'm saying this is a conversation, not question answer, you can focus on the first whole letter of this Chat GPT. It's chat means conversation. So it's not like that you are going to ask something and you will get something, and whatever we are going to get, we will be happy with it, right? It's an interaction. So I will ask something, I will get some response. Response may or may not up to the mark. I can reiterate. I can ask for something more. I can ask for refinement. I can ask for adjustment. Right, so on and so forth. Then finally, I will be happy with my solution, and then I will go ahead with that particular task, and maybe I will consider some other task then. So overall, if you observe that what is our objective with respect to use cases of this LLMs, then we would like to minimize the length of this conversation, but without compromising, I should say, the quality for sure. Because if we can do this, then we can achieve. Imagine a scenario that in within 1 hour, now you will be able to, if you can minimize the length of the conversation, and let's assume that we are going to get the excellent quality of the outcome. Then you, in given this same amount of time, you will be able to accomplish a lot, because now you can perform number of tasks with the help of this knowledge of prompt engineering, and this will indirectly increase your productivity for sure. So this is directly relevant to your productivity in that sense. But the focus should be what actually we would like to accomplish by the end of the conversation, that you must think beforehand, even before you start typing over here. This we anyway follow when we talk with our friends or relatives in WhatsApp. Like, let's say I would like to go out on Sunday with my friend, then I will straight away start with this, that let's plan watching this particular movie at this particular theater, so on and so forth. And then the conversation goes on. And unfortunately, with respect to Chat GPT, we or Gemini or DeepSeek, whatever LLM we have very vague intuition behind what we want, and that's why we don't get what we want. So that's the whole idea of this particular first quote. The second quote will be even more impactful. So let me try to focus on that. Asking the right question is as important as answering them, and this is extremely relevant in the context of Chat GPT or Gemini, because nowadays, like let me come up with some function. Let's say f of x is equal to 3x plus 5. Now, this the output of this function depends upon value of x. Of course, if I say x is equal to 1, then I will get answer is equal to nothing but 8. Right? So I will get 8 as answer for x is equal to 1. But if I say x is equal to 2, then my answer will change to, let's say, 6 plus 5, which is nothing but 11. So instead of f, right, instead of f, you can imagine you have same function. All of us have the same function, which is nothing but Chat GPT 5.2 or 5.3, whatever it is. And now the only differentiating factor, so now you can see this is your input and this is your output, which you are going to get. So the function is same. Function is Chat GPT 5.2, let's say. And the only differentiating factor is nothing but your input, which is nothing but traditionally we are going to say prompt. So only differentiating factor with respect to your, I should say, outcome quality is dependent upon prompt only. So if your prompt is good, then your output is good for sure. So therefore, it's extremely important in era of Chat GPT and Gemini that we craft our prompt more seriously. That's the whole idea about this code. And let's go ahead with the next observation. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions and whom you ask these questions to. That is also equally important. So let's say the talk is going on and suddenly I am having some issue with my heart and I directly call to the organizer, Dr. Ravi, I am having some issue, please help me. But he will say, I am doctor, but I am not doctor of heart, right? I am not cardiologist, right? You should consult some cardiologist. He will be able to, he or she will be able to treat you, right? I am not the correct person for this kind of question. Right? Similarly, let's say if I go to cardiologist and ask him or her about, let's say, LLMs or latex, then he will say that maybe you need to go to psychiatrist. I'm not the correct person to treat you with this kind of questions, right? So it's not just about your kind of framing of your question. Along with those questions, whom you are asking this question, that is also equally important. And ideally we should go for the expert on the corresponding domain who can solve or who can guide us with respect to the corresponding question. So let me give you one simple example so that you can relate with this very easily. So let's say you have some question with respect to physics domain, right? So then you have a number of options, right? Either you can just go ahead with let's say you can say that I'm going to ask this particular question to a student who is learning physics, who is in class 12, right? So I can ask this particular question to class 12 guy. Or let's say I want some more level of expertise, then I will say, let's say someone who is doing BSc physics, he or she will be the better person to for this particular question. And then you will say, no, this is also not fine. That I want extra knowledge, so I will go for someone who has accomplished a lot in this particular domain. Let's say Albert Einstein. That so let's go with Einstein with respect to this particular problem, and then you will be satisfied that Einstein is the correct person maybe for this kind of important question which requires a lot of rigorous thinking. Now, surprisingly, your Chat GPT or Gemini can take any of these roles. But we have to explicitly mention if we don't give this kind of roles to our Chat GPT, then it will assume that the question is kind of it will go to its generic domain, generic knowledge, and the response will be also generic, and we won't get what we want. So instead of saying this theoretically, let me try to demonstrate this practically, that what I'm trying to convey over here is what's the importance of assigning context or assigning role, and how the outcome will differ if we go ahead with this single kind of change in our prompt, that instead of just directly asking something, let's just think that who is the best person in the world to solve that particular question or to accomplish this particular task, and ask that particular task to that particular person. Even if you do this, you will be able to see at least 50 to 60% improvement in terms of quality of your outcome. So let me try to demonstrate this. But before that, let me give you one simple metaphor so that you can understand why do we need to do this. So imagine that entire, so you can imagine that this vertical line, right, which is appearing just after sidebar, it's nothing but axis y, and this horizontal line on my screen, that is nothing but my kind of x-axis. And now you have different topics, let's say topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, like my cursor is moving, right? So those are different topics you can imagine. And let's say on a particular topic, let's say topic is related to, let's say, Apple TV, right, which I have selected right now. I can have on y-axis it's corresponding to quality. So basically, do you agree that I am interested in somewhere over here towards the top of my screen where quality is high, and I am very much focused on, let's say, Apple TV, right? So that's where I want my focus in the context of Chat GPT knowledge base. So let's imagine that entire screen is nothing but a list of books which have been read by Chat GPT or Gemini. So that means it's a big library. And if you don't give any context or any role, then you are asking question to a librarian. Imagine entire city of Delhi or Mumbai is a big library, and now you are just asking the question of whatever query you have to librarian. The way we are using ChatGPT or Gemini right now, it's like that only. We ask question, directly to the librarian. Librarian has knowledge of library, that he has read all the books here and there, but his knowledge is not focused. But you can imagine that library has number of subsections, and each subsection has one expert member who has read all the books, all the latest material of that particular domain, which falls under that particular subsection. Then at any given point of time, you will always prefer that particular expert over librarian, because expert will have expertise knowledge with respect to that particular narrow field, and then he or she will be able to guide us better as compared to librarian. So just by giving the context, we'll be able to observe this massive change in the outcome. So let me try to demonstrate this. So let me go to the free version of ChatGPT, so that you can appreciate that whatever I'm going to explain, it's it's not like whether you are using paid or kind of free version, does not matter. It's independent of your ChatGPT, I should say, plan which you have taken, subscription plan, whether it's there or not, it will be equally impactful. So you can see my message, right? It's usually we write like this, right? We so let me try to zoom this so that you can focus. That my blood pressure is this. Suggest me something, right? We write very vaguely, just the way we write on Google, usually on ChatGPT, and then we will get some response. I'm not saying this response is bad, right? So then it's saying something that you need to do these things. Avoid tea, coffee, smoking, salt, right? Drink water, and this lifestyle changes you have to do. All right. It has suggested some five small lifestyle changes, and that's it. The response has been concluded with this. Some immediate four or five suggestions, and then some five lifestyle changes the ChatGPT has suggested, and then it has concluded. Now I'm going to ask the same query, but I will add that particular missing block in my prompt. And the missing block is whatever task which I'm going to perform, who is the best person in the world who can solve this particular task, or who can guide me very nicely with respect to this particular problem. And with respect to this is something related to heart. So I should consult some cardiologist. So let's see what will happen if I just add in my prefix of prompt that you are expert in this particular domain, expert cardiologist having experience of, let's say, 25 plus years. And then I'm asking the same thing. My blood pressure is this. Suggest me something. And only thing which I have added over here, you can see over here, assume a role of cardiologist having experience of 25 plus years. And apart from that, one more nice quality which we usually look for in our doctors, that you give detailed lifestyle changes advice to your patient, especially related to heart. That's what I have added. So these are nothing but qualities which I look for in my imaginary cardiologist. And now you will be able to appreciate the quality of the outcome. So you can see, first it's explaining me what's the meaning of this measurement. Then just on salt, it's giving me guideline of, you can see, around 10 points, right? And if you compare with the previous response, then the entire response was giving me only 10 bullet points. And here you can see it has devoted 10 bullet points just to salt. So, of course, I will talk about depth also. But even in the case, if we focus on just length, you will be able to see that it is drastically better as compared to our previous response. Then it's giving us some important measurement, or we should say guidelines, using which we can map, right, whether we are doing fine or not, or whether we are fat or not, right? So ideal numbers have been given, and along with that recommendation, that how much weight loss is recommended. Then point number three, consistency, daily movement, right? What you should do, that is explained over here. Food, right? So you can see how nicely this response has been given. Just, and what I've done, I have just added those two lines, nothing else. I have So you can see it's going on and on. Roughly 10 different points have been kind of suggested, and each point is contains kind of around 5 to 6 different subpoints. So you can see, in terms of length is as well as in terms of depth, this response is significantly better. And this is the first step of prompt engineering, which I have showcased. You can, just by adding the proper role to, or proper persona to our model, we'll be able to see drastic improvement in the outcome. And soon, right? I will be able to showcase you with respect to even our research domain. You will be able to see the impact of this goal mapping very soon. And of course, in between, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat box. I have logged in via another device also, so I am checking simultaneously. So in case of any queries, feel free to ask. So now let me continue our discussion with respect to framework first, and then we'll go ahead with some specific use cases in the context of research. So let's continue with the idea of uh, framework, which we are going to adapt in the context of research, especially in the context of today's FDP, I should say. Okay, so now this anyway I have explained you that what will happen if your prompt is bad. The response will be generic. It will be unstructured, and of course, many times incomplete also. Whereas if your prompt is structured, you will be able to get detailed, insightful, and progressive response, right? Which makes more sense. So now, let me just directly go to this particular framework. There are many frameworks with respect to prompting, but personally, I am using this particular framework since last 2 years, and it has given consistently nice results. So therefore, I'm just recommending this one. So the and it's very easy to kind of remember also. As researchers, we are, all of us are extremely creative, so it's very easy for us to remember this particular word create. And create, in a sense, will capture all the elements which are required in a good prompt. So I've already explained you the first part of this particular framework. If you notice carefully, then C stands for character, who is the best person or best kind of role I should assign for the underlying task. That is nothing but my character. And here I would like to emphasize on one more important phenomena, that not necessarily your recommendation or the persona which you are going to provide to Chat GPT or Gemini exists in real life. Let's say you are working in three different research domains, and before you, no one has no there are very few people in the world who are working on those three domains and have expertise of all of them. So you can have this virtual persona also, that you are expert in, let's say, theoretical computer science, but you also possess very good knowledge of, let's say, software development. And apart from that, you are very good with respect to, let's say, some entirely different domain. Let's say you are also very good in physics, let's say. And then we can consider a particular task which requires knowledge of all of them, right? So depending upon your task, you can assign persona, and not necessarily all persona exists in real world. Because if you the more better perform your persona you provide to Chat GPT, the it's equally likely that the likelihood will increase proportionally that the outcome quality will be better for sure, if your persona is correct with respect to the requirements of your task, right? So that's what I'm trying to convey, that sometimes domain 1, domain 2, domain 3, domain 4, up to domain n, let's say n domains expertise you are needing for accomplish a particular task, then feel free to write that you are expert in domain 1, domain 2, up to domain n, and then start with your actual task. I don't need to explain this part. Request, anyway, you are good with putting some requests, because that's why you are there on Chat GPT or Gemini. So that is obvious that whatever your task is, you are going to just mention it. That is request part. Examples are also very underrated, right? So if you have, like, for example, let's say you are trying to write down one piece of email with the help of Chat GPT, and you don't provide your sample emails, then the tone and styling will be of AI, not of yours, right? So that is also one more challenge in today's time, that you people try to create or generate kind of text, or I should say articles which look like they are written by human, but they are actually generated by AI. So how to make your response more personalized, so that examples help us. Then there are some adjustments. I will talk about this very soon. Type of output is also equally important. Many of the times you want just one line of response or one caption of your Instagram post, and ChatGPT is giving you one paragraph or vice versa. Sometimes you want in-depth response and ChatGPT is giving you very brief response. So how to ensure that you get what you want by explicitly. So basically, if I try to summarize the entire thing in just one line, then you just need to imagine the outcome before you start writing in your blank space of ChatGPT or Gemini, and you have to ensure that you convey all those observations which you have observed in your final product in terms of words in your prompt. So if you can if you have this ability to observe things and kind of just write them down properly, then you are a good prompt engineer. I guess all of you are potential professors, so you have good observation skills. So only thing is you need some kind of practice so that you adapt very you will be able to adapt very quickly in the context of prompt engineering. So now let me try to give you some concrete examples so that you can appreciate this even more. So let's say this is one example where all the components of create framework have been added, and then you will be able to see the outcome and appreciate it very soon. And then I will quickly shift our focus towards research, that how we can utilize this particular create framework in the context of our research journey. So this is very generic example, just to motivate you, just to make sure that everyone understands what this particular framework does. So the scenario is like this: you are alone at home, and you would like to come up with one nice recipe, and you would like to take help of ChatGPT to recommend you one nice recipe which you can prepare with the, of course, ingredients available at your home. So you could just say that I am please give me some recipe, and it will give you some recipe, but it won't be impactful. Also, it may suggest you some ingredients which you may not have at your home also. So therefore, it's not a good idea to prompt vaguely. So let me just try to motivate you by going through this particular process of create framework, and then you will by just by looking at the outcome you will be able to appreciate the process for sure. So as you can recall, the first part of create framework is C stands for character. So who is the best person in the world who can design nice recipe for you? Of course, we are at India, so we can just say you are an award winning Indian chef with 20 years of professional experience, and you also have international knowledge of recipes. You craft vibrant dishes that celebrate regional Indian flavors while embarrassing global techniques. So this is the rule which we have given, that you are going to mainly create some Indian recipe, but you will include or integrate some global I should say global flavors in your final dish. So that is the nothing but the C part. Now the request part is, please ask what items or what ingredients I have currently in my kitchen. This is very much important, because if you don't write this particular line, then ChatGPT will recommend us something which, and we can't be able to prepare those things because we don't have the corresponding ingredients. So therefore, I'm not asking directly for the outcome or recipe for now. I'm just asking, please ask what I have at my home. Then the example part, CRE. E stands for example. So this is nothing but example of famous chef, Indian chef from whom the chat GPT can take inspiration, right? So take inspiration from Sanjeev Gupta, Sanjeev Kapoor, Vikas Khanna, Gagan Anand, Vineet Bhatia, right? These are famous Indian chefs, in case if you follow food industry. And then some adjustments. So since we are at India, not at UK, so we would follow grams, not the pounds. So we'll just say use metric measurements. And the next part is one more important adjustment. Select only the ingredients you need. So this is in order to kill the assumption with respect to AI. If you don't write this, ChatGPT may assume that whatever ingredients I'm going to provide, it must use all of them, and it's going to mix all of them and then recommend us something which may not make sense at all, right? So final product may not be eatable or drinkable. So therefore, it's important that we convey that you are requested to take some subset of this ingredients depending upon the requirement. And then we are just saying, do not suggest any recipe until I provide the list. And this is finally, if you can recall, then we have type of output also. So that is what mentioned over here. So you can just go through over here. that we have mentioned about character, request, examples, adjustments, and finally type of output we are mentioning right now, that what should be the structure of my final outcome, right? So that final outcome must contain these things: title, single paragraph about explaining the dish, and then all the ingredients along with quantity, and then of course we need some step-by-step instructions so that we can recreate this particular recipe. So you can see it's asking me what ingredients do you have currently in the kitchen. So I'll just mention this ingredients which are usually available at Indian households, and then you can see the outcome and the quality of the outcome. And now you will be able to appreciate the pain which we have taken in order to crafting the prompt. Right? One can argue that, sir, we are writing so much. Why? So that answer of that why is this particular response. So you can see that now it's giving me the dish. This is the name of the dish. This is only one paragraph explaining the key aspects of dish, what it contains, and you can see clearly how it has taken inspiration from Sanjeev Kapoor, Gagan Anand, and Vinit Bhatia. And not only that, it's also explaining which particular food preparation technique or style it has adapted in its final outcome from this famous Indian chefs. And then you'll be able to see this ingredients along with quantity, and quantity is again coming up in the Indian scenario, which is good for us. So you can see, and afterwards it's also giving a step-by-step method which you can directly post to Instagram or YouTube, right? And right, so you can see that how nicely the response has been given in this particular scenario, and this is mainly because of our prompt. And now let me try to motivate you with respect to solution of this particular problem. Everyone will be able to appreciate this, hopefully, that the response is extremely good. But one can argue that we need to write a lot. So how? What is the solution for that? So let me try to give you one solution where you don't need to write much. In fact, you don't need to write anything, and still you will get what you want. So let me just try to utilize this particular button which is there in our chat GPT, which is called dictate, and let's appreciate how it works. So you are expert with respect to doing literature review in the domain of theoretical computer science, and you have expertise of more than 20 years in doing so. Now your task is to analyze how much and what type of work is going on in graph theory since last 10 years in this particular domain of theoretical computer science. Ensure that you focus on Indian publications, and give me five, or I should say recommend five important research directions on which I can work. Don't forget to take inspiration from giant, or I should say famous Indians researchers, not just Indian but worldwide in the famous researchers from this particular domain, in order to come with final solution or final recommendation. So once I click on OK, the entire thing which I have just said, it is converted into text. You can see, correct? So even though my prompt doesn't make much sense, this was just to kind of motivate you that even without using your keyboard, you can interact with this powerful LLMs, so that you can incorporate all the important, I should say, aspects of this particular create framework. It's very easy to include them while you speak instead of type, right? So, and then that, of course, I want quick answer, so I can just go for answer now, and it's going to answer me. It's searching the web, and soon I will be able to get the response, right? So it's giving me the idea that this is one of the domain, that second domain, third domain, right? Fourth, fifth, right? So on and so forth. And it's also giving me some important names whom I can follow, right? Not just India, but worldwide, which is good. Research gap, right? And research direction. So you can see that how the response is coming. So now instead of this, if I just write like this, give me important research direction in theoretical computer science, then of course I won't be able to get this level of response for sure, right? So hopefully you appreciate the idea of good prompt. Okay, fine. So now let me try to come up with one nice use case which all of you will appreciate and which is usually very much helpful in the context of doing research many of the times. So many of the times what we need to do is we would like to summarize some text. This is one of the, I should say, the core idea of NLP or natural language processing or LLM, I should say, the one of the most important, single most important application of LLM is nothing but text summarization. So let me try to give you one particular example with of text summarization. But before going ahead with text summarization, let's go ahead with book summarization. So let's say this. Let's start with some generic domain, and then we'll go to some specific domain. So let's say we would like to know about key ideas of this particular book, How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is extremely famous book. And let's say I don't have time. There's also one more important advantage of using LLMs that we have, all of us have limited time and we would like to read a lot, but we won't be able to do so. But what we can do is, with the help of these systems, we can get the key insights from those books even without reading them. So what I'm going to do now, again, I'm going to follow the create framework. Who is the best person who can summarize book for me? Highly experienced writer who writes concise and readable text without stop words, filler words, or jargon. Jargon I won't be able to understand. I don't want any stop words or filler words. And concise, why? Because I look for summarization. So therefore, this is fine for me. And then this is the request part. I want you to give me summary of this particular book, highlighting most important concepts. And then I'm giving type of output. I don't want any kind of example. If I want my summary in some specific style, then maybe I want my summary in Shakespeare style. Then I could write that take inspiration from Shakespeare for follow this writing style of, let's say, Harvard Business School, something like that. If I want some example. So again, this not necessarily that every time you include each and every component of this create framework. Depending upon your requirement, you can decide what to include and what to exclude. And then I'm just saying deliver this as a list of no more than 5 bullet points and follow it with one sentence summary. So you can see these are the 5 points which have been observed from the book. Show genuine interest in others, avoid criticism, let others feel the idea is there. So this is nothing but summary of the book. Those who have read, they know. And otherwise, like I guess all of us trust the LLM. And now I'm saying give me 15 actionable points instead of 5. Not this since this is chat. I may not be happy with the response. So I'm saying this, I don't want 5, I want more. I want 15. And then I will be able to kind of apply those learnings. So you can see now I'm going to have some simple but actionable points which I can adapt in my lifestyle so that I can make friends very easily. So you can say smile, be a good listener, talk in terms of the other person's interest, show respect for others' opinion, so on and so forth. So you can see 15 different recommendations have been given or actionable points have been given. Right? And then, of course, you can refine this. Right? If you want to focus on only important 3 points, you can just tell it to do so. And then it's going to give output like that. So this is all about iteration part. Now, let me try to give you one another important use case of the same prompt. So let me try to give this particular prompt in the chat box so that you can also recreate this. You can change the name of the book, right? And maybe you can go ahead with some other book or some other kind of summary, all right? But let me just try to uh, share the prompt with you, and then you will be able to utilize this. It will be also helpful in the context of research. Soon I will be able to demonstrate that part also. But this was the first prompt which I wanted to share. Even I can share the earlier one, but it's okay. Let's continue with the session first. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same prompt, but instead of that, I'm going to provide some text. And whatever text I'm going to provide, my LLM is going to summarize it, and eventually it will provide me only 5 bullet points and one sentence summary. So this time The text which I have provided, again, it's from generic domain, like Sachin Tendulkar. I went to his Wikipedia page and I have copied the entire kind of history of his life along with his achievements and copied from there over here. You can see it's a lot of text. And what I'm asking, so therefore it makes sense to apply this particular important task of summarization. So you can see still it's going on. And we'll be able to appreciate the power of prompting if we just observe the quality of outcome which we have observed. So let's try to, before going into the outcome, let's try to think, right, what we think when we hear this particular word, Sachin Tendulkar. We think about Bharat Ratna, right? In I guess 2 days back, right, we saw one news item where people were discussing that why there was no security check for Sachin Tendulkar, because and then in the discussion it was mentioned that since he was awarded Bharat Ratna, it's not required for him. That's, and then people were debating that it takes only 4 or 5 minutes. Why so? Right. So in my mind, at least I know that this Bharat Ratna thing comes first. Then of course, I 100. More than 100, I guess, something related to 100 centuries, I guess, if I can recall properly. Highest run scorers and Rajya Sabha member. And it started very early against Pakistan, right? This many things comes in my mind. And let's see what this summary is capturing out of all these things. So you can see the first thing which it covers is this 100 international centuries and over 34,000 runs. Started early, that is also captured over here, age 16 specifically. Total number of years which he has spent in international cricket. Bharat Ratna award along with other awards, right? I was not aware of this other awards, but it was there. Also, he was part of this World Cup winning team, right, which is also important. Rajya Sabha MP, along with duration, it's giving. God of cricket, of course, this comes even, I should say, on even before any other thing, right? Usually we relate this term with Sachin Tendulkar. And then if someone tells just write one sentence about Sachin Tendulkar, then this is the sentence. So why I am taking example from generic domain, so that everyone can relate and understand that how nicely this prompt works, and it essentially captures the things which matters in the context of Sachin Tendulkar over here. And then of course we can go ahead and provide some other text also, so that you can appreciate this. So let me try to do so. So what I'm going to do now, I've already pasted. Okay, so maybe I can just go back over here and just paste the partial uh, prompt to you, and then you can uh, just provide some text from your research paper or from web which you would like to summarize, and then appreciate the power of this important text summarization prompt. So let me try to do so. So what I'm going to do, maybe I can just go to uh, s- one of my research paper and take some text from there, and let's see uh, uh, how it responds to this. So maybe I can just go over here and let me just go to this paper maybe. And let's go to some technical thing. Uh, Here, maybe this is fine because this is a key contribution. Maybe some algorithm is there. And from there, we are just going up to this part, let's say. Then let me just copy paste this entire thing. And then I will go to, like, we can go to any of the LLM, doesn't make much difference. But let's do like this. So I'm going to paste the text first, right? And then I'm going to go to chat box and paste the prefix of this prompt first. Text anyway has been provided. And let's see that what it provides us. So what we are expecting, just uh, bullet points and one sentence summary. So it's, you can see it's exactly giving us this, right? 5 bullet points and one sentence summary. So you can see how powerful it is. And if I just go through this, let me just try to see whether it makes sense or not. So first, it's telling about this particular model, and it's good that it has captured this between the centrality, because the model is based on that. Embedding mechanism, that is important. Of course, without that, the model won't work. What is the formula of CB score? That is the key contribution of this work, which has been captured properly in this one of the bullet point. And without data set and performance, no research is completed. So it is mentioned about the data set and performance also, which is very good. And then it's finally summarizing the entire paper in just one line. So you can see how powerful this prompt is. If you would like to kind of enhance your literature review, then if you let's say those who are in the beginning phase of their PhDs, or starting research in some new domain, then this can help you tremendously, where you just pick some paper and then use this particular prompt so that you can get important insights about or key concepts about that particular paper, along with one sentence summary, which you can later revisit and utilize for your other work, right? So this was one strong, I should say, application of whatever we have seen. Now, let me just continue with my presentation, and let me try to showcase you some other examples very quickly. Of course, we'll go for examples in the context of research also. But before that, let me just try to motivate you that how you should utilize this particular framework. There are some missing elements which I wanted to showcase. So, for example, if we go to this generic task, we have already discussed this writing and generic thing, how we can do this. Let me try to focus, uh, let me try to give you insights about examples, because that's the important part. So you can see over here that if you want your writing, let's say you are doing some again summarization kind of thing, but you would like to follow a particular style, like for example Harvard Business Review, then you must explicitly write like that, that your summarization style must be similar to Harvard Business Review style. And you will be able to kind of relate with this even better if we take example of marketing email. So let's say you are writing one marketing email, and now you would like to follow the writing style of Apple, then you can just say that take inspiration from Apple's product announcement emails, which are simple yet innovative and inviting. And then your marketing email will have those kind of, I should say, tone and style, which is similar to Apple. And then, of course, if you are trying to explain something related to your domain, like for example, if someone's domain is mathematics, then he or she can just mention the example of Khan Academy, which offers usually very clear and practical, I should say, clear and practical explanation about difficult mathematical concepts, right? So that's how we can utilize the power of examples. And of course, there will be some adjustments depending upon your requirement. You can go ahead with it. Type of output is extremely important. Let's say you want to design something. Let's say, let me just try to motivate you with in the continuation of our previous task. So let's say this is fine, but I want my output in there was no output style written in my original prompt. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to uh, copy paste this, right? So let me just try to do this, copy this message. Let me try to paste over here. But let's say now my requirement is different. I want this 5 bullet points and one sentence summary, but I want latex document which I can utilize afterwards. So I can just say, give me latex code for the same, right? Just by adding this line, now I will get latex code, which I can put directly to Overleaf so that it will be with me in cloud in some sense, because now I am going to get latex code, which I will just directly copy paste. And then, so you can see it is giving me this particular latex code. I can just copy this. I can go to Overleaf, and then I can create one new file, right? New project, a blank project, right? I can just say research summary, right? Whatever it is, or literature review, whatever I would like to say. Summary of different papers makes sense. So currently nothing is there. I can just, but of course we can format this, but for now I'm just going ahead with very simple. Right, so you can see now this thing is documented, and of course I should ideally give title of the paper, and then again some insights I should put, so that later on I can, whenever I revisit this, I understand and appreciate this work. Maybe I can provide the link of the paper itself or a citation of the paper. But even with this simple setup, you can appreciate the power of putting that particular one important thing, which is nothing but type of output. So ensure that you put type of output properly depending upon your requirement. So it will make a lot of difference, uh, the way your output looks in some sense. What are the issues with prompting? So many of the times, like researchers feel that AI or LLMs are too powerful. So let's do all the things simultaneously. So then the system will kind of crash. It won't be able to do all the things with utmost precision for sure. So it's like this. Let's say you go to your supervisor and supervisor says that by the end of the evening, you need to complete this 10 tasks. What will be your response, right? Even you, maybe let's say you can't say anything to your supervisor, you will try to do those 10 tasks, but of course that you will compromise something for sure, because you will be under stress that so many tasks, and you don't know even that whether you should go ahead with task 10 first or task 9 or task 8. So a lot of time will be kind of given for this particular processing, that which particular order was good out of this 10 factorial different orderings with respect to this particular completion of this task. You will waste a lot of time, and at the end of the day, in terms of quality of the outcome, of course, you will fail for sure. But imagine a scenario where the same supervisor, he calls you in the morning and he assigns you one single task, and once you complete that particular task, you go back to him. He will say, "Okay, fine, good work. Now do this particular second task." And this way, by the end of the same day, you will be able to accomplish maybe 15 or 20 tasks, and that too without any kind of stress, and the quality will be good with respect to all the tasks. So same goes with this prompt also. So if you put too many things in one prompt, then LLMs won't be able to, especially if those tasks are interdependent. So, for example, if you say summarize this, find trends, predict future outcomes, too much work in one prompt. So it's better that you break this particular big prompt into sub prompts, and then just ask for task one first. After completion of task one, you can say, okay, good, now perform task two, and now perform task three, like that. So make sure you break your big task. If you are trying to build up something very big, something ambitious, then make sure you subdivide your particular overall task into sub problems, and make sure you handle each sub problem separately rather than all together. Avoid any kind of ambiguity. Analyze this means what, right? So AI may assume something, and then it may give us something which we don't want. And iterative feedback, many of us don't follow this. We get something by applying some kind of prompt framework, and we say that's it, but not necessary. That is nothing but kind of suboptimal result. You should always go for refinement in order to get better response. Then let me try to showcase you how this create framework is helpful in the context of our research now. Okay, so let's go ahead with this particular first problem, which is research gap identification. And before I showcase you this, let me try to give you one concrete example where create framework gives us significantly better result as compared to our wake prompt. So here, let me just try to go ahead with this. What is the task which I have given to this particular LLM over here? There are two result papers, right? Both of this are written by me, right? Again, they are from graph neural network domain. So you can provide anything, but focus on this particular prompt. What is the prompt? Read these papers and tell me the research gap. If you write like this, let's see the response. It's giving us some response. Let's see what the response is. Gap 1, implication. Gap 2, implication. Gap 3, implication. Gap 4, gap 5. And then this was with respect to our first paper. It has assumed that it is supposed to provide 5 responses. And I have done this today only, and that too on the free version of ChatGPT, so that you can appreciate the power of good prompting. Let's go through this generic prompt first, and then I will showcase you proper prompt for the same task and how the response is significantly better. So you can see again gap one, gap two, gap three, and then that's it. Combined research gap and possible research direction. So that's the response of this particular prompt. Now, if we follow the create framework for same, then who is the correct person for this particular task? Senior researcher and reviewer in this particular domain. Ideally, I should also mention the domain. Let's say graph neural network, but it's fine. Then the next part is request, analyze the uploaded papers and identify meaningful research gaps across them, which is good. So you can see the request is also written very uh, I should say precisely over here. Then E stands for example. So I've mentioned over here so that you can appreciate which type of gaps I'm looking for. This is also very much important that as an AI or as an LLM, it may provide some gaps which are repeatedly appearing in the literature, but this is not what actually you are looking for. So ideally, you should provide some sample gap that I would like to have this kind of gaps in my if they exist in this particular work, right? So you can see over here, existing studies report strong benchmark performance, but cross-domain generalization is not evaluated. This is the research gap. This type of gaps I would like to have. Then focus on methodological weakness, missing experiment, narrow data set, unrealistic assumptions, lack of reproducibility. All of these things it must focus while providing research gaps. And type of output, this is also very much important. I want first key contribution, limitations in shared manner. So that means what is the common limitation, emerging research gaps, and three possible research direction for future. And something extra which we would like to have is one publishable research problem suitable for MTech or PhD work. Right. So this is a fantastically well written prompt. And now, if you see the response, then you will be able to appreciate. So first, let's go to this response in terms of length, and then we'll see how well it is in terms of depth. So first, you can see key contribution. Five contributions have been mentioned for both the papers. Limitations, you can see five, more than five actually. Right, six limitations have been mentioned, and that too in shared manner. So that means both the papers have these limitations. Emerging research gaps: gap one, gap two, gap three, gap four, gap five. So you can see gap in terms of gap, it's giving five gaps and three research directions also. You can see this is direction one, direction two, direction three, and finally it's ending with this giant problem which can one student can go for his MTech or PhD work on this particular problem. And it's also giving some proposed idea and expected contribution. Then you can see how uh, well it has given the response if our prompt is correct. So let me just try to share this prompt with you so that you can recreate this with respect to your domain and appreciate it. So let me just go to chat box, and I'm just pasting this particular prompt so that you can use it. Okay, so this is the prompt. Okay. So now, of course, you should mention your own domain. In this domain, if you write like this in this domain, then based on the uploaded documents, AI may assume that what's the domain which you are looking for. But it's better that you explicitly mention the domain, right? So then it will be even more impactful, and you can see the quality of outcome also, right? Of course, it's citing the paper, right? So that means it's taken from there only, and just by going through this I can say that it's correct because I am the author of this paper. So yeah, so this scalability issue is genuine, which has been captured by this. The complexity value is also correct, right? So it makes sense, right? Of course, I would like to cover a lot of things, so we won't spend a lot of time on this. But hopefully, you appreciate that just by following this create framework, how well the response is generated as compared to our normal generic prompts. Okay, so let me continue. So this was first part, right, which was corresponding to nothing but identification of gap in some sense, right? So the same prompt which I have just executed has been written over here. Then the second prompt is for structured literature synthesis. Again, you are writing a survey paper. Request is synthesize the uploaded papers into structured literature review. Example trend, recent methods increasingly combine graph structure with attention based learning. So, in the context of graph neural network, this example makes sense. In your case, you can write your relevant trend example. Adjustments, compare papers in terms of methodology, data set, evaluation metrics, limitations. So, this is like usually what we do when we try to do in some sense when we try to write a survey paper. And I guess in this particular FDP, you have separate sections focusing on this requirements, or I should say this workflow also. So you can take benefits out of them, that these are the requirements, these are the actual formal mechanism which you should follow while going ahead with survey paper, and then you can club those insights with this today's session of prompting, and then you can get better outcomes and better as well as quick outcomes which you can utilize, right? And then the output format makes the difference over here, right? So many of the times we observe that usually we go ahead with this particular table format where first paper name has been mentioned. Apart from that, which methods have been utilized by that particular paper or researchers, what data sets they have used. Apart from that, contributions and limitations. So if you explicitly mention that you want table format, then you will get it. That's trivial. But otherwise, the response will be generic and you may not get what you want. Then one more example of create for improvement of writing. So again, this is where you are just going to so I'm not saying that you use this as it is, right? So if you use this as it is, then it's unethical because you are just using AI to write your paper. But you can use one variant of this where you can just give some segment of your write up and then say that just evaluate this segment and give some kind of we should say directions in order to improve the write up with respect to different aspects. So just to kind of give you insights about scientific writing, I've just taken this particular example, but you should of course go ahead with some modified version of this prompt. So you can see introduction must capture these things: so research gap, novelty, and contribution in clear manner. Example improvement: instead of broad opening, quickly establish the problem, gap, and motivation. Which is this is usually we should do with respect to introduction part. Maintain academic tone, avoid that don't kind of give any kind of overstatement, right? Just write whatever claims which are there based on the evidence or experimentation. So all these things we can have. And finally, the output format, which is nothing but revised introduction. So instead of this, you can just go ahead with this kind of variant also, where you just say, this is my topic and how a good introduction will look following these things. Instead of providing your own introduction, you should go ahead with like that, so that you can get some insights from AI and then you write by your own. So that way, you can enhance your scientific writing in some sense. So hopefully you got what I'm trying to say. That you can use a variant of this, but instead of this introduction of my paper, you can give some title that this is the broad area on which I am working, and then you can utilize the same prompt, and then AI will give you some sample introduction, and then you can check that what elements are missing in your own introduction and how well you can kind of improve it, right? So just by observing, and then of course you can go ahead with this reviewer style feedback also before going ahead with I should say publication or submission. You can try this kind of variation also. And now since you know the framework, you will be able to come up with this kind of prompt very easily. So I'm not spending time over here. Now, first part is clear that we have talked about. We are just on time. I guess I have taken 5 minutes more, but I have talked about prompt engineering in detail, which will be required for the next segment, which is nothing but creation of custom GPT, which is kind of very exciting and promising domain. And we'll see how we can create our own custom GPT and how we can utilize this. But before that, I would like to take some questions, if any. So you can unmute yourself and ask questions, or maybe you can just write in the chat box. Anything is fine. I'm also checking chat simultaneously. So I will just wait for 1 or 2 minutes. In case of any questions, you can just ask. Otherwise, I will just continue with the next part where we'll practically see how we can design custom GPT. Can you share the promotions? Sorry, Deepak sir, I couldn't understand. Promotion slide, which means what you are referring to? Uh, Prompt slide. Okay, okay. So the framework slide is this. So we had started with this particular framework, right? So this is the framework slide, which is we are using, right? Create framework. And then if you're looking for some specific prompt, then just let me know. Just write it down in the chat. I will just go for that particular prompt. Okay. Okay, Deepak sir. So yeah, so you were referring to this slide only. Okay, fine. Now, the one more question is, can we use GPT for reviewing the general paper? Again, this is a controversial question, Gopal Krishnan ji. So let me just try to first give you one piece of information which is helpful to all of you. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but if you go to settings of your chat GPT, and then if you go to data controls, then this is one of the most important control which you have on your data, which says improve the model for everyone. So if you turn this off, that means chat OpenAI won't be able to read your chat, at least ethically, right? So if you turn this off, that is, you should turn this off. First thing is this, in order to make sure that you don't freely allow OpenAI to utilize your uh, chats. That's the first recommendation. Apart from that, this is in the response of a question from Gopal Krishnan sir. He's asking, can we use GPT for reviewing the journal paper? And I'm trying to answer that. So whenever you use this particular GPT, or I should say Chat GPT or Gemini or any of the LLMs for reviewing purpose, the first fear is they can take our data, and then the data will be given to some kind of organizations like Turnitin, and then in the plagiarism we'll be able to see that plagiarism will be more, right? So that's the fear which we have. So there are some tricks and tips which I'm going to give which can resolve this problem. I'm not sure whether it can resolve 100% or not, but if you do this simple 2 3 steps, then most likely it will resolve it by up to 90% of the times for sure. The first thing is this: if you are trying to do this kind of thing, then make sure first you turn this off. Otherwise, also you should turn this off, because you should not share your personal information with any of the organizations like OpenAI. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, apart from that, you can see one right side, you can see this temporary chat option. So always make sure that if you are trying to get some kind of feedback on some of your work, then you always turn this on. So you can see this chat won't appear in your chest on your chat history, and won't be used to train our models. And automatically, I guess it will be deleted from even from their I should say whatever data centers they have. So this is also you can try, where you are going to kind of utilize this for nothing but getting some feedback from uh, models. But again, this is slightly risky. We can go even one step ahead, and I recommend you the final solution as let me just give this insights directly from ChatGPT that suggest me 10 state of the art uh, offline models, right, which I can install in my laptop. So if model is offline, then your data will remain in your system. So the final solution, there are a lot of uh, agencies or organizations which provide this kind of, we call them open models. You can just download them and utilize them. So Llama, right? Llama is one of the famous ones, right? So depending upon your use case, you can also try this kind of models, which will be installed in your system, and there won't be any kind of API calls, and then it will be super safe to share anything with this kind of models because they are completely offline. They don't work on internet, right? So this is the final solution. Hopefully, uh, you understood what I'm trying to say, right? And you can just search about them, and you will get very easy to follow tutorials how to install them, how to use them, right? So for some specific tasks, you can also go ahead with this solution where we go for installation of offline models, and they will guide us with respect to literature review, or I should be specifically for this kind of problem where we have written something and we just want a review of that particular work. Yeah. So maybe I will just share this entire conversation with you so that in future you remember this kind of things exist and you can experiment with them. So let me just copy this link. So that means you can share conversation of ChatGPT with others. This is also one of the underrated feature of ChatGPT. So just to demonstrate that, I've just created this particular share. I just clicked on that particular share button. Then I'm just clicking on this particular copy link, and then I'm just going to share this link with you people so that you can go through this list of models and then talk more about them, maybe with LLMs or with others, and then decide which one is good for you. Okay, so that was one more use case of underrated feature of ChatGPT, sharing. Okay, now, okay, any other question? So thank you, Dr. Deepak and Dr. Gopal Krishnan, for asking important and relevant questions. I'm expecting at least one more question and then we'll continue. Okay, so if you click on this link, then you will be able to see this entire conversation. That's the idea of this link thing. Okay, fine. So then let me continue with the second part of the session where we will talk about how to design our custom AI assistant, which can help us with many ways, right? Not necessarily some specific use case like literature review. So now, before going towards this particular creation of custom GPT, let me just try to motivate you what custom GPTs are, how what important properties they have, and then we will see practically how we can design one and utilize them, and also publish it in some sense. Okay, so let me just continue with my presentation. So now the important observation with respect to our, I should say, this massive technological development is uh, adaptation, right? So, with respect to adaptation, we usually remember Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So, we are experiencing this particular massive change since the inception of ChatGPT. That now a lot of things have been kind of automated, and we can see massive improvement in terms of results, in terms of teaching, in terms of everything, right, in a sense. and there are some drawbacks also, of course. But what is your response to this change? One of the responses, of course, you are attending this kind of FTP, so you are very much aware of this change, and you are going to adapt this change by understanding the existing uh, technologies, right? So understanding existing AI tools, kind of knowing that how ChatGPT works, actually kind of use ChatGPT practically, like by with the help of some intelligent frameworks like Create. That is the first part of this response, I should say, where you are kind of at understand level, right? In the Bloom's taxonomy, if we talk in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, then basically you understand, and to at some level you are also applying the concepts of your learning in your day-to-day professional or personal life with respect to AI advancements. So that's the first response. Apart from this, what can be the other response? Can anyone guess or suggest that with this massive improvement or massive developments of large language models, what will be your response to this developments? Apart from learning these technologies, of course, which I've already mentioned, you can just guess something, or you can just say whatever you feel. You can just write in the chat box also. What do you feel? What response you can provide for this technological changes? That is the question. So here, important word is change. So the first change is we have to kind of change our style of doing things. Previously, we were used to do. Uh, we should use it ethically. Good observation, Gopal Krishnan ji. But that is again, in some sense, it has been captured in adoption, right? So if adoption guidelines, if we follow, then it contains this particular important aspect of ethics, right, which is extremely important, and you have rightly mentioned it over here. But if we follow the Bloom's taxonomy, then do you agree that there is one more level apart from understanding and applying? There is nothing but creation. So, can we create something new, something unique with the help of our own knowledge along with integration of AI? That's the question. And if we can do so, then it's fantastic, because now not only we understand the existing technique or tools, but we also contribute to this rich, uh, we should say, rich space of AI capable tools and techniques, and right, whatever we should say, mechanisms which are helping us to improve our productivity or intelligence in some sense. So how we can create something with the help of our own knowledge, which is which is just with us, some unique knowledge, right? Or each one of you possess some intelligence which is rare, some kind of we should say, some kind of rare ingredients which are present in your mind, which are not available with others, right? That makes you unique, that makes you human. How you can integrate that part of your skill along with the existing AI technologies, so that you can create something beautiful and uh, make it accessible to rest of the world. That is the idea of actual change which I'm going to talk about. Okay, so the response, one of the responses, we can create something new, and that is nothing but our custom GPT or custom AI assistant. So now, what's the idea of custom GPT? So instead of talking theoretically, let me try to demonstrate this with one example. So let me try to share one of the custom GPT which I have created, and it has been recognized by OpenAI also. This is one of the seven GPTs which have been featured by ChatGPT for education newsletter by OpenAI, and it was also featured by OpenAI Academy, where they have put videos of only 100 global educators who are redefining education in AI era. And video on this particular Python ki Pathshala is also published over there. So those are the recognitions. So let me try to share this with you. Either you can scan this, that's of course the first option, but let me try to share the link also with you. So just give me a minute. Or maybe let me try to come out of here and directly go over here. So then it will make more sense. So this is the link. So first, let me explain the capabilities of this particular uh, tool, and then we will see how we can create something like this for some uh, other purpose. Yeah. Nice question, Deepak ji. I will come back to you very soon. But first, let me just complete with this important topic of custom GPT, and then we'll discuss about this also. Yeah. So now, if Deepak ji or Gopal Krishnan ji, if any one of you or someone from audience, if you can just write down your hobbies, then it will help me with one simple use case which I'm going to demonstrate with this particular GPT. If you can just write down your hobby if possible, or maybe favorite movie or web show. If not, then I will assume something and then continue. So let me just try to showcase you what this particular custom GPT does. Then I will talk about the kind of process using which you can create something like this and maybe make it public. And then we'll also see how we can utilize it for research. Right. So those are the deliverables which I am planning to cover in the next 40 or 50 minutes. Okay. Oh, thank you for sharing this. Chess is a hobby of Dr. Deepak. So I will just write this. So let's assume that our Deepak ji is nothing but student, and I will just write student name is Deepak, and he loves chess. But let's say he doesn't know about for loop of Python. Right. So this is what I'm writing in this particular custom GPT. You can see my name that is created by Maipal Jadeja, and the uh, name of this GPT is Python ki Pathshala. This is the title of it, Hindi English friendly. And what's the motivation? It's for uh, Python programming. Learn Python programming in your preferred language, Hindi or English, with engaging storytelling, practical examples, interactive exercises, and so on and so forth. So let's just go ahead with this particular setup. So now what this particular GPT will do is it will Deepak ji will be the main character of this particular story, and it will relate ideas of chess with concepts of follow. Right. So this is kind of making learning personalized, where student will decide how he or she will learn about a new topic. So you can see currently it's starting with this particular scene one, राइट दीपक अगर तुम्हें ग्रैंड मास्टर बनना है तो तुम्हें हर दिन 10 चालों की प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी and then Deepak is thinking about this that he will follow this 10 steps one by one, and then how this is related in the context of Python, right? How to write it in Python, that is explained. Now some metaphors are coming up with respect to cricket, student life, right? And Instagram, of course, students can relate with this Instagram very easily, so therefore it has been included. Now some recommended video, of course, from my YouTube channel. Now let's say unfortunately, let's say Deepak ji don't know Hindi, so then he can just write E and the entire explanation will be converted into English. As you can see, the same story will come, but now it's in English. So you can see these are some things which are not there in our normal chat GPT. If you write E in normal chat GPT, you won't get this kind of response. So that means this assistant must have some kind of intelligent prompt which guides it that whenever someone writes E, then do this. Whenever someone writes S, then do this. Right? So that means prompt is one of the important aspect of creation of custom GPT for sure. If I write M, then it will come up with some more metaphors so that uh, the for loop can be understood very easily. Right? So you can see, and it's continuing with example of Deepak. Okay, so as you can see that how PUBG is related with for loop, then fitness metaphor, how fitness ideas of fitness or routine, fitness routine is associated with for loop. Music, correct? So you can see how nicely it captures the uh, ideas of real world with concepts of Python programming, and some real world use cases also you can ask just by writing R. So this is how this particular GPT works. It has a lot of features. Not necessarily you just need to write about your hobby. You can also mention about your favorite movie or web show. For example, if I just write this, let's say I love Three Idiots movie, and but I don't know about while loop of Python programming, then it will relate the ideas of movies with uh, concepts of while loop, where again Maypal will be the main character, right? So that's how it works. Maybe I clicked. Oh, okay. Yeah, now it's working. You can see it's also saying reading documents. So that means I have uploaded some documents which are accessible by this particular custom GPT and which are not accessible to others. If I share this link with you, it is already shared, I guess. You can't see any document. So that means custom GPT is nothing but it's a collection of these two things. It's collection of private, I should say, prompt, which is not visible to others, plus your own knowledge, which you have in some sense uploaded in terms of different files, right? So that's the idea of custom GPT. That if you have come up with some nice prompt and along with your own knowledge, if you feel that you can contribute something unique which is not there in existing world with respect to, let's say, GPT store or existing capabilities of AI tools, then you can create something a novel like this and then share it with rest of the world, and then they are going to use it and appreciate it. So that's the idea of custom GPT, and we'll see how we can do this. Meanwhile, just let me just go through this response so you can see that how it's going to relate. So you can see Rancho is introduced over here, who is the actual character of the movie, right? जब तक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होती कोशिश जारी रहती है. That's the idea of while loop. And now the same story metaphor has been included in some code, as you can see. So the condition is this, right? So I'm not going into too much details, but hopefully, right, you can, of course, uh, uh, all is well is also right coming up over here. So you can try with your own example. You can write down your name, your hobby, or favorite web show, and whatever you would like to learn about Python, and then you will be able to see this kind of nice story which will come. You can use even EH mode. In EH mode, you will get the response in English, right? So you can see it's Hindi plus English, right? So this has been appreciated a lot by students and they are utilizing it. But this was just one example of custom GPT. There are many others. And if you just click on about, then you will be able to see all the details that including creator, ratings, number of conversations. So here instead of views, we measure the popularity in terms of conversations. If conversations are more, so that means your GPT is working fine, right? Now, and of course, you can see some other GPT which is created by me that after end of this, right? And this will do for any creator, not just me. Now, let's try to see what all options you have available with respect to this GPTs. How many GPTs are available which you can utilize for free? So you just need to go to this link, which is GPT store. It's just like your app store. In your phone, you have this, sorry, Play Store or App Store, which contains specialized apps which are designed for some specific purposes. This is similar to that. That if I go to research and analysis, you will see a lot of kind of GPTs which are designed for specific research and I should say research and analysis purposes. Right? So I will try to demonstrate some of them so that you can appreciate them. But meanwhile, let me just try to share this link so that you can later on also you can revisit and utilize the power of this custom GPTs. So right, so chat is anyway open. So let me try to paste this particular link over here. So now they are expert. So if you are using Python ki Pathshala, then you don't need to say that you are expert in Python. That you can avoid using create framework. So let me try to show one of the famous GPT with respect to research and analysis. And if I'm not wrong, the name of this particular GPT is Scholar GPT. Right? There are many others, but Scholar GPT is one of them. Right? So you can see that Scholar GPT is coming up over here. So you can see, you can read the functionality of it, how popular it is, 200K plus conversations, 4.2 rating. So if you just click over here, start chat, and then so basically it has kind of access to Google Scholar, and it's going to provide some nice research papers along with citations and all, right? So I can just go ahead with some prompt, latest research in development of offline open models for daily productivity in last 3 years. It's something like that. Let's see what it does. And let me try to showcase some other uh, GPTs too. So there are many options if you just explore this space, GPT space. If you want to do something related to Excel, you can just search Excel, and then you will be able to see a lot of custom GPTs which people have created. So this was the Scholar GPT which I was referring to. That was something else maybe. This is even more famous, if I'm not wrong. So you can see 38 million plus conversation. This is the one which we should look for. So let me try to share this important link with you. So many of the times people say that Chat GPT hallucinate and all. So if the focus is narrow, right? So for example, this particular custom GPT, the focus is just on providing some insights with respect to, I should say, uh, research papers, and therefore it is more focused, and the response, it's very unlikely that it will hallucinate, unlike others GPT, custom GPT. So let me just try to demonstrate this. So maybe I can use the same prompt. uh, okay, let me try to use the same prompt over here, and let's see what it does. And I'm expecting that it gives me some research papers along with links. You can also try your own research problem or topic, and then so you can see it's going to provide 8 to 10 different sources based on the topic which I have given. So right, so you can see that it's trying to answer sensibly, and hopefully it will. If we don't want to wait, we can just click on answer now, but then it may compromise the quality. So let's wait for a couple of seconds, and then we'll be able to see some response for sure. Meanwhile, I can continue with other discussion. Let me just try to close this. This is also not required. And here, let me go to this one more time, explore GPT, and you can just go to this section, and you can just see the entire space. And not just this 10, these are kind of top 11. Actually, there are more than 3 lakhs of custom GPTs available over here. So for example, if you would like to do literature review on some topic, you can just search literature review, and then you will be able to see a range of custom GPTs which people have created with this particular title, right? And then you can utilize them. You can see this one is famous, right? The most famous is this one, first and second one, that 100K plus conversations have been done. And usually every good GPT will provide this particular button. So if you click on this button, then automatically that prompt will be given to this custom GPT, and you will get some response. Let me just go ahead with this button just to see what it's going to provide. So sometimes we need to allow this kind of external API calls so that it can talk to some external source and then give the answer. Currently, the answer is not given by that particular source. It's given by some inbuilt knowledge because we can see some error in talking to it. But this is the response of this tool with respect to effects of sleep on body. That was the topic. And you can see it's citing some papers that we are not evaluating how good or bad it is, but it's very likely that it's good because people have rated this decently, like 4.1. It's also giving this kind of citations, as you can see. And then, of course, there are some token limits, so it can't generate the full response in one go. So it can expand afterwards if you request. So that's what we are getting over here. Uh, and this is also good. Yeah, now we got response from Scholar GPT also. So you can see Llama 2, that is practical baseline. It has been launched in by Meta in 2023. Then the second one is this. So this whatever this number is, it's about parameters, 7 billion parameters. The more parameter you have, the more RAM size will be required in order to implement or to install that particular model in your system. Right. So that's the idea of this. So uh, Gamma is also coming up. That is small open model tier. How Google is contributing in this particular space. It was launched in year 2024. Why it matters, that is also written over here. Realistic for nodes, drafting, and short context document work. Tiny Llama, that, and so on and so forth. So you can see that how nicely it's giving the corresponding literature along with explanation of all these models. And this was kind of bad request to it. Ideally, we should talk about not development in terms of products. We should talk about some research topics. So maybe I can just talk about latest work in the domain of, let's say, transformer based, uh, let's say, large language models, something like that. And then what I expect is it provides me some list of research papers along with their links. So then it will be more impactful. But anyways, you can go through them and utilize as and when required, right? There are a lot of GPTs for different uh, ideas, or I should say different segments of research. And whenever you would like to see whether someone has designed something with respect to that or not, you can just go to this Explore GPT and write your problem. For example, if you would like to just see whether someone has created some kind of GPT for latex, we can just write latex and then see that what kind of GPT is available for latex learning or maybe latex generation, and then utilize it if you find it's relevant and useful. So you can see. So this one is there, 25K. I will prefer this second one because it has more conversation. So 100K. So you can see you should use this like for latex work, latex related work. So let me try to share this over here. So these are some of the important custom GPTs which I feel that you should know and utilize. So, but ideally I should provide metrics, then it will make sense. But it's okay just to see that what it gives very quickly. So I guess this is the example of bad prompting in some sense. I should give proper. Uh, let's see what it does. So now it makes sense. You can see that it has provided me nice code which I can utilize for 5x5 identity matrix. Okay, fine. Now, we don't have scope to kind of evaluate each and every custom GPT, but you should know that they are available and you can just uh, try utilizing them. Okay, so now, okay, fine. So this is giving us some kind of explanation first and how I guess recently they have changed the styling of the response. Previously, they were used to provide links of papers, and I personally like that variant more. But in any case, I guess there are many other options for those kind of work apart from Scholar GPT, where basically we look for some kind of papers which we can utilize for some work. So let me try to search one more, and then we will talk about the exciting part where we will design one custom GPT so that we can go through this process and appreciate how easy it is to create our own custom GPT. So maybe if I go over here and yeah, this one is also good. So you can see chat directly with words, scientific literature, search references, get explanation, write articles, right? So 17 million plus. So give me 10 research papers. Let me be slightly more explicit over here with links, working links. Let's see. So, so you can see now it's working properly. This is what I want from this kind of tools. So you can see if I click on this link, then it should land me on a paper for sure. So of course I have to create some account over here. Then I will be able to see this hopefully. Let me try to see some other link then. Okay, so you can see the paper I can see over here. If I click on PDF, it couldn't load, but I can see I can map the title at least whether it's making sense or not. Yeah, upcycling instruction tuning. Okay, that's how it started. So which is correct over here. Let me try to skip some and then click on something else. Let me try to do this. So I guess they have created their own app, so therefore it looks like this. But actually, the paper is coming from archive or something else. So if I click on one more link, then finally I will land to the actual page, and then I will be able to view or download the PDF for sure. So that's how I can kind of go through different literature in some sense. So I'm not claiming that whatever papers have been given, they are up to the mark or they are good, but at least they make sense. You can see, for example, this one has 333 citations, and they are not kind of providing some kind of papers which are not there in actual word. So that means hallucination part is not there, which is good. Fine. So now, all good about this GPT store. We have discussed a lot about it. Let me try to talk about how to create our own custom GPT because that is also kind of very exciting thing to do. And then we'll be able to create one particular custom GPT for one use case, which will be research, of course, at least for this session. But essentially, you can create custom GPT for any of your repetitive tasks in general. So let me just try to go through a couple of slides in my presentation and then we'll actually design something. So let me just go to over here. Mm, I guess, yeah, this one is fine. Yeah. So now this we have anyway seen Python ki Pathshala. Now, these are some of the kind of reasons why we should go for custom GPT because the focus will be too much kind of narrow. So therefore, we are going to get specific answers. And for example, research helper is one of the use case where we can create our own custom GPT. Characteristics, purpose must be defined properly. High quality data must be there, relevant trusted data. Custom instruction is the most important thing. And since now you know create framework, you will be able to create nice instruction. And of course, no design is perfect in one go. So you have to test and improve your custom GPT iteratively, right? So then you will be able to get best out of it. Guardrails, they are important. We have to ensure that only the required task can be done by the custom GPT, not anything else. These are some of the famous, or I should say, interesting custom GPTs. We have already seen Python ki Pathshala and Scholar GPT. Apart from those two, these three are also famous. And you can see what is the role and what is the private data which we can't see. For example, in the case of Python ki Pathshala, story templates, real world analogies, even I have uploaded all my collab notebooks as a private knowledge to this particular custom GPT. Then Scholar GPT, it has access to 200 million plus scholarly articles, which we can't see directly. We can get some subset of 10 or 15 papers once we interact with that particular custom GPT. Okay? So now, with respect to research, what we can have as a custom GPT. So custom GPT is like kind of our own customized version of GPT, which we can use or utilize for personal research assistant. And number of use cases can be there. For example, understanding of paper, identification of research gap, literature comparison, methodology, brainstorming, refinement of draft, right? So on and so forth. So these are some of the use cases. So, what you need to upload if you want to create your own research focused custom GPT? You can upload your own papers. You can upload uh, draft manuscript or proposal, provided you trust the system. Otherwise, avoid this recent paper. But if something is published, then you can, of course, upload that. No issues with it. And some review articles and benchmark. So anything which is kind of associated with your own research topic, you can just upload. And then these are some sample instructions which we can put in custom GPT instruction so that it works properly. So, for example, over here, the purpose is it's for mainly helping us with respect to this literature review or literature analysis. So, we would like to do this kind of five tasks: identification of contributions, detection of research gaps and limitations, comparison of methods across different papers, future work directions, clarity improvement for writing, right? So on and so forth. And whenever possible, we would like to go for create framework. Do not use any unsupported claims, right? So on and so forth. That's how it works. And then we can just go ahead with creation of this. So let's try to do this so that you can appreciate how it works and how you can utilize it. So what I'm going to do, I will upload some of my research papers just to demonstrate the key idea that how one can create uh, your one separate kind of entity within this AI ecosystem, which is focused on just your own research so that it can guide us with respect to future research and identification of the research gap and so on and so forth. So purpose can be anything, but in my case, I would like to have a system which can analyze my existing work and provide us some insights that what else I can do with respect to future research. So mainly, I'm interested in the third point, that suggestion of kind of future research direction along with identification of gaps, right? Something like that. So let me just try to uh, help you with creation of this kind of custom GPT. So now we can do this on Chat GPT. We can also do this on Gemini. So I'm going to showcase this on Gemini because Gemini is kind of freely available to everyone, and the creation of custom GPT is free in the case of Gemini. Whereas in the case of Chat GPT, you need use is free, but if you would like to utilize the power of kind of creation of custom GPT, then you need some kind of plan. Either it can be a plus plan. In plus plan, also you can design. And there is one more plan which comes before plus plan, the basic plan of Chat GPT. There also Chat GPT Go, I guess. So if you have Chat GPT Go, then also you can create and publish custom GPT with the help of OpenAI platform, of course. But otherwise, if you don't have Chat GPT Go, then you won't be able to do so. So since I would like to provide some inclusive solution where everyone can create and go for creation of custom GPT, I am picking nothing but Gemini instead of uh, our chat GPT for this particular use case. So in Gemini, this comes with gems instead of I should say custom GPT. We are going to say gems, and the methodology of name creation is also interesting. If you know the name, in the case of chat GPT, if you focus on last three letters, then it's nothing but GPT. So they say custom GPT. If you focus on first three letters of Gemini, then it's Gem. So then they say Gems. So that's how naming convention they've selected, I guess. In the case of Gemini, they are saying Gems. In the case of ChatGPT, they are saying nothing but uh, GPT. So now this is the link which I should share with you so that you can create your own custom GPT and share it with others, maybe your research team or your colleagues. Let me try to share this with you so that you can directly land to this particular creation window, right? And it's very easy, right? Creation won't take much time, but how impactful it is that for that it requires certain amount of creativity and clarity of what we would like to accomplish in this particular uh, jam or GPT. So the functionality is same, whether we say Jam or GPT, both of them are doing the same thing. They are going to assist us with respect to some specific task. So let me just say this is kind of my research helper, uh, right? Or maybe virtual research partner, or maybe research assistant, right? Whatever it is. Uh, I can also describe. So as soon as I give this kind of name, you can see how it will look. It will automatically appear in the preview section. Then I can provide some instruction. So in order to save time, I can just go to my presentation and pick some information from there. And of course, I will modify it because this is not what I want. So I can just say this was the instruction which was provided. But again, this is not complete instruction in some sense, because what create is, it may not know, so I have to explain what create framework is. So I can just say create framework. I should explain that in create framework, C stands for character. Always assume that you are asking the question, research question, to the best scientist or researcher available in the domain. R, I don't need to, R and E. Anyway, I will include this in my prompt so I can ignore this explanation of rest of the part. But at least C was important, so therefore I have provided it. And uh, this is fine. Identify contribution, detect research gaps. I can also say suggest PhD topics based on expertise of based on the uploaded papers, I can just say, because basically uploaded papers will be mine and it will anyway have my expertise. And so you can see this is how you can write instruction. And if you would like to enhance this instruction, Gemini is so generous. It provides us this kind of button which will automatically rewrite the prompt. So let me just try to give the initial version of prompt to you so that in case if any of you are doing this with me simultaneously, you can uh, also create your own research helper like this, or research virtual research assistant. And so let me try to share the prompt over here. Okay. Now I'm going to improve this prompt, but not manually, with the help of Gemini. So I will just click on this magic button. You will see some magic is happening, and Gemini is going to refine this instruction in order to make it more impactful. So you can see the entire thing has been changed now. Purpose and goal, how it's going to act, all right? Behavior and rules. Right? So now it looks visually more clear and impactful. Let me try to add the final thing, which is I can add number of things, something from drive, photos, code, notebook, LM. But let me just go ahead with this. Let me just upload only 5 of my research papers. Ideally, I should upload all of my publications, but just to save some time and showcase you some minimal working example, I am just uploading 5 papers. But in your case, if you have all the papers available with you, then you should upload as many as you can. And usually there is a limit. I guess it will allow you to upload around uh, 25 files also, if I'm not wrong. You cannot upload more than 25 files in one go. At least that was true in the case of ChatGPT. And I assume that Gemini also possess the similar kind of limitation in the context of uploading data. So after couple of minutes, we'll be able to see this icons changing color. So that means it has been uploaded. Let's wait for others also. There are 4 more files which are there. So this two have been uploaded. And once we see that everything is uploaded, we'll be able to see the save button activated. So we'll be able to save our this custom gem, I should say. And then we'll be able to interact with it. Even we can interact with it in the preview mode and see how it's reacting. And if we feel that some changes must be done, then we can do those changes side by side by modifying the instruction. So that's the idea of this particular interface, where left hand side we are going to write the instruction, right hand side we are going to see the end product. And if we feel that there are some issues with the end product, then we can modify the instructions, right? So you can see now only this one is pending, and then hopefully we'll be able to see the save button once the last one has been kind of uploaded. And then I will click on straight away save button, so that Gemini remembers that this is the purpose of this custom gem. It's taking slightly more time with respect to this paper. Maybe it has been opened somewhere, I'm not sure. I'll wait for 30 seconds more, otherwise I will just remove it. It's fine. Still we'll be able to, okay, fine. So now you can see save button has appeared. Let me just click on save button so that it remembers everything. So you can see now it has been created. I can just go ahead and start interacting with it. So this is my personal virtual assistant. I can just say, based on my existing work, recommend me 3 novel research domains and also justify why I should work on them. Like, something like this, just to know whether it's working properly or not. So you can see how it is custom in this particular sense, that it's not go to the knowledge base of Gemini first. It will go to the knowledge base of this particular virtual research assistant, where we have uploaded those 5 papers and also the important custom instructions. So it will try to follow those custom instructions. And if required, then it will go to Gemini's database or knowledge base, and then give us the final answer. So that's how it works. So it works at 2 levels. First, it will go through the custom instructions and custom files, which are available exclusively to this particular assistant. And then, as per requirement, it will take some insights from Gemini too, if required. So it's taking some time, which is good, because research is not usually happens very quickly, and we are just asking for some direction. We are not telling it to give us some actual kind of solution, so which is ethical. So let's wait for some time, and we'll be able to see some response very soon. Meanwhile, I can take some questions, if any. That so you can see that how easy it is to create uh, this kind of custom GPT or gems on this system. Maybe I have asked something very heavy. Let me try to refresh this, whether it could. answer or not. I'm not sure. Let's see. This time maybe I will ask something simpler. Let's see. So let's suggest one research domain based on, or problem based on my existing work, and also justify why I should work on this problem. Let's see whether it can give the answer or not. Usually it doesn't take this much time. Uh, Maybe there are some issues with its integration or what. So, but anyways, let's see. Otherwise, we'll create something else and then see very quickly whether it's working or not. Something went wrong. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Ideally, it should not take this much time. So let me just try to showcase you something simpler, which I've already created earlier. So for example, this was their email replier. So this is also kind of custom GPT. Let me just try to showcase you what I've done over here. So it's very simple. You can see this is to enhance your custom GPT. It is best to provide AI with a framework. Yeah. So this I should not put actually in my uh, yeah, this part is I can remove. So this is the prompt which I have given, right? So you are the AI executive assistant for me, right? And how I want my response in terms of email every time conclude with my signature. So this is again some general purpose example of custom GPT, but you will be able to appreciate it how it works. So if I update this, then hopefully uh, we'll be able to see some response for sure. So for example, let me just say that confirm student meeting on Monday, that whatever date is coming, 16th March, uh, 10 a.m. To discuss about graph neural network and also suggest some readings to him. Let's see what it gives. So hopefully this should work at least. So you can see it's writing email for me. I'm writing to confirm this is the scheduled time, GNN, concise agenda, and you can see how nicely it's providing the list of papers also that you should read these papers before you come, right? So this is working on my behalf in terms of recommending some papers, and it makes sense also because this is the most famous and foundational paper of this particular research domain. So this is one more use case where you can save time, even though this is not directly related to research, but you can see you can draft your agenda very quickly with respect to research by creating this kind of custom GPTs. Meanwhile, yeah, so this is doing some kind of analysis, like maybe because of those files, I guess, and some kind of issues, it's taking slightly more time, but eventually it will run and we'll be able to see the output for sure. So what I will do, I have three more sessions. So on the final day of this FTP, when we meet, I will make sure that I demonstrate a working research assistant. Actually, I wanted to create with you people, right? So that you can see on real time that how it how it is created. Uh, but because of I guess those heavy files, it's taking significantly more time in creation of the response. But it's okay. At least you understood the process, and later on you can build your own custom GPT, and hopefully you appreciate this. How nicely this can save a lot of time for you, especially for some kind of repetitive process. So what intelligent practice we could do is, instead of doing like this, we could go for something where we don't need to upload something in our regular kind of gen. Whereas we could upload something over here, and then the response will come in a particular table where whatever files we have uploaded, it's going to create one nice table comparing the important aspects which we usually do when we do literature review, right? So that those kind of intelligent thing we can do. Now I will try to answer some questions from the chat box. I can see there are some queries. So let me try to go there and answer the queries. Okay, so for Gopal Krishnan ji, for the offline model, actually you can fine tune it for your specific purpose. So it will be kind of customized, right? You can, of course, train it and customize it for a particular purpose. So you can do it. Oh, finally, this is working, right? So hopefully my screen is still shared. Yeah. So this is a proposed research question. Let me try to see whether it's making sense or not. Centrality aware temporal graph neural network for proactive epidemic mitigation and vaccine allocation strategy. This is fantastic because it captures all the things on which I have worked, right? At least which I have provided to this particular system. Basically, I have provided some papers on graph neural networks where I worked on this centrality based approach, some novel models which are working better as compared to normal traditional graph neural network models. Apart from that, I have also published one book and one paper on this particular epidemic modeling. So it's offering a particular problem where both of these things have been combined, which is good. Yeah. And of course, justification have been given that why this makes sense. So this justification, basically whatever I have said verbally, it has written it over here in some sense. And so this is good in some sense. Yeah. So it is actually working, but it took slightly more time, but it's okay. Eventually I'm getting what I need, so which is good. So maybe I can ask something else also. Give me 5 limitations of uh, work associated with graph neural network, and let's see whether it can answer this slightly quickly or not. Let me just go ahead with other questions. If my friend shares the paid custom GPT with me, is it possible I can usually use the same GPT with form with all the same features? Of course. For example, if I go to my GPT, that is Python ki Pathshala, for creation, of course, I am using paid plan, so it requires payment. But for you people, you can use it for free. So uh, creation is kind of costly, but using is free. So at least in the context of ChatGPT, with respect to Gemini, it's free both the ways. But for Gemini, the limitation is there is no Gemini gem store where you can see all the gems of, I should say, designed by public developers, just like OpenAI. So that's the differentiating factor. But here, let's say if I would like to share this particular jam with you, then then okay. So Gopal Krishnan ji, I will try to answer this because it requires a separate setup and installation. So it is out of the scope, at least for today's session. But afterwards, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or some other platform, and we'll discuss on this separately. Meanwhile, and if time permits, I will try to cover this on the last day also. Uh, Meanwhile, let me just try to complete with the last thing, that how we can share this. So you can see it's working with respect to my second query also, that it has given me this 3 concrete limitations of my work. Now, if you see that shared conversation is fine, but I'm not interested in that. If I go to my gem, if I go to edit, and somewhere I will be able to see one option of sharing, I feel, which I can share this particular thing with others. So for example, this is the one which I have created. So you can see there is one option of share. So if I click on this share button, then I can add some other people as a kind of editor of this. So right, so you can see I can anyone with the link, is if I can provide some kind of editor, then all of you can access this and make changes to it, right? So, which is a kind of very powerful thing. And if you want, you can add some specific people also and make sure they are trustworthy and they will be able to utilize the power of this, right? So that's how the sharing part works. Okay. So now with this, I guess I can conclude today's session. So the rest of the things I will discuss. So I, apart from this, I wanted to discuss about this AI powered, in some sense, reading of interactive reading of research papers. But anyways, I have 3 more hours, so I will include it in the last day. Meanwhile, I can just share my contact details. So in case if you would like to connect with me, you can later on connect and we can discuss about some of your queries. So usually I'm more active on LinkedIn, so you can scan this in order to connect, or maybe I can also share the link of this with you so that you can connect with me uh, in case if you want. So let me just try to do so. So I will just go to this WebEx. Yeah, so I can. Yeah. I will take some questions in case if any. Uh, Otherwise, we'll conclude for today. Yeah. Okay. Anyone? I can just check the chat box also.
Participant, you can raise your hand so that I can unmute you, so you can ask directly also. So, sir, I think there will be no more questions for today's session. If they have any queries, so they will be entertained in the next upcoming 3 sessions. So,
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
so thank you so much, sir, for today's very informative talk. So, I hope participants will definitely get benefit from this talk, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. Okay.